Sanjay, it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Nice to see you again. What was it? When was the last time we talked at TIE? A couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago, yeah.
Nice to be talking to you again.
Thank you. Every time, I ask people in your position about technology, and they say, well, things have changed. This was only 6 months ago.
Yes.
So it's such a rapid pace. Now we're talking about AI is the new buzzword. Where do you see in terms of application and scalability is where the problem comes for companies like you?
I think, listen, I was a computer science undergrad, and one of the things I wanted to do when I graduated was artificial intelligence and robotics and things of this kind. But in 1991, when I graduated, nobody cared about it. Now, 20, 25 years later, everyone, and what's changed is fundamentally the computing capacity and the ability to do things in distributed systems, especially in these at-scale cloud architectures, whether it's Google or others, is immense, and that's fundamentally one key aspect where you can run these algorithms. Second, what's happened is you're able to apply those algorithms to real problems. When I, later on when I was in business school, I graduated and I was very enamored by this algorithm in AI called collaborative filtering that was developed at MIT that Amazon was starting to use for, matching books that somebody liked and somebody else might like. A very simple AI type of technique. But now if you look at some of the problems that have to do with facial recognition, image, sort of all the kind of stuff that Google's at the pioneering of doing stuff. Those are many new algorithms that machine learning and AI are well purposed. I think the future is being able to take these generic algorithms and technology and apply them into vertical applications. If you can do that, there's going to be an enormous amount of impact. Driverless car, retail, healthcare, public sector, banking, and I think it's going to be pervasive in everything we do to make everything much smarter.
So the infrastructure is also evolving and it's available now. What do you advise to emerging entrepreneurs to look at both the things and say there's a lot more resources available now to scale?
Yeah, I think if you basically looked, 10, 15 years ago, people thought in the world of client server rather than mainframe, right? Today, everyone's thinking mobile and cloud. So you better be building applications with a form factor of how it would be used on a phone. You're probably best off building on a cloud infrastructure today because you don't have to buy servers and storage and networking. So I think in the new world, mobile and cloud becomes very important. And I think it's actually going to go beyond mobile and cloud to cloud and edge. And to edge is where you take computing capacity and actually put it closer and closer to these, ultimately things that become almost mini machines. So you almost think of a little mini data center starting to operate inside a branch of a bank or, a tractor or, all of the kind of equipment a Caterpillar or John Deere might start becoming like mini computers. And this is really IoT on steroids. And we think edge computing is going to be a big, big opportunity for years to come.
One of the things in big corporations that you look at is how you can take the society with you as you move along, because you can't leave them behind. How do you think the application of these technologies is reaching to those at the lower strata?
It's a very important problem that we have to do in democratizing technology to allow, opportunity for everybody. I think one of the things that I'm most concerned about in the world is the haves getting richer or having more and more, and ultimately creates elitism, and then the have-nots not experiencing that. We've seen entire election cycles being determined because of that, and it creates tension in society that's not good, right? We saw the revolt in San Francisco because of housing. So we have to, as I grew up in a middle class to poor middle class family. My mom grew up in a very poor family. And for us, our faith in our family, but hard work and education brought us out of that to the point where we could have an opportunity. So education clearly is the grand equalizer. But we who have accomplished something or because of education have been able to do more have to now give back to society and find ways by which the folks in society that have not accomplished that, we are able to find ways by which they can also experience not necessarily a free ride where you're giving them a silver spoon, but have the opportunity. One of the things I'm very interested in is in education and finding ways by which the private sector can help in schools and colleges, and it means that we have to then volunteer to help, apprentice these folks, so we can create hundreds and thousands of apprentice type of roles. We're able to help, and I think when you live a life that's actually serving other people, I talked about this during this conference here, The ideas of serving is a lot better than taking. When you give, you actually are a happier person than when you take. And it's time for the people who've accomplished and achieved things to actually give back. And I'm looking forward, to many of us doing more of that.
On that note, thank you, Sanjay. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.